I welcome you to my channel. Subscribe and listen to my new stories every day. It's Christmas Eve, the house adorned with shimmering lights and the air filled with the scent of pine and cinnamon. Amanda, my wife of 7 years, hums a Christmas tune as she decorates the last of the cookies. The festive joy seems perfect, almost too perfect. I, on the other hand, can't shake off a feeling of unrest that has been nagging at me for weeks. Darling, could you please help Jake with his Santa costume? He's struggling with the beard, Amanda calls out from the kitchen, her voice light and cheerful. Sure, I'll check on him, I reply, trying to sound equally upbeat. I find my grandfather, Jake, in the guest room, fumbling with the white, fluffy beard that completes his Santa Claus costume. At 78, Jake still has the energy of a man half his age, his eyes twinkling with mischief as he prepares to delight our 2 children, Mia and Tommy. Need a hand, Grandpa? I ask, stepping in to adjust the beard around his chin. Ah, Michael, just the man. Thought I'd make a grand entrance for the kiddos, he chuckles, his voice muffled beneath the thick beard. With the costume set, Jake transforms into a convincing Santa, and we head towards the living room where excitement buzzes in the air. The children's laughter fills the room as Santa hands out presents, his eyes meeting Amanda's with a strange flicker of intimacy. I push the unsettling thought from my mind, reminding myself it's just holiday cheer. After the gifts are unwrapped and the children sent off to bed with visions of sugar plums dancing in their heads, the adults settle down with glasses of mulled wine. The room is warm, the tree lights casting soft shadows. That's when I decide to retrieve my camera to capture these seemingly perfect moments. As I head upstairs to our bedroom, the muffled sounds of conversation drift away, replaced by an eerie silence as I near the door. My heart sinks as I hear it, the unmistakable sound of whispers and stifled giggles. The grip on my camera tightens, the festive red and green strap now a noose around my neck. With a sinking feeling, I push the door open. There, in the dim light of our bedroom, is Jake, still in part of his Santa suit, his back to me, but unmistakably more involved with Amanda than any Santa should ever be. The sight is surreal, a grotesque twist on a festive costume drama, and Amanda's whispered words, "What a gift," slice through me. The flash of my camera lights up the room like lightning, capturing the betrayal in stark, unforgiving light. Jake and Amanda turn in shock, the truth naked in front of us all. Michael, Amanda starts, her face ashen. Save it, I snap, cutting her off. The room feels colder now, the warmth sucked out into the winter night. In the following days, the image of their betrayal burns in my mind, fueling a cold resolve. The divorce papers are filed swiftly, and by New Year's, Amanda and I are nothing more than strangers with a shared past. But it doesn't end there. The photograph, the undeniable proof of her infidelity, circulates among friends and family. I ensure that her betrayal is as public as it was private, her reputation tarnished as deeply as my heart was broken. As the new year dawns, it's clear that the ties that once bound us are now irrevocably severed. We go our separate ways, the last image of us together being one of deceit, a gift given and a life taken apart. The first snow of the year blankets the town as I sit alone in the dim light of my office, the quiet punctuated only by the soft ticking of the clock. The walls, once filled with family portraits, now bear stark reminders of my solitude, empty frames that echo the hollowness inside me. Since the divorce, life has been a series of transactions and handovers, cold, calculated, and devoid of the warmth we once shared. The phone rings, shattering the silence. It's my sister, Laura, her voice tight with concern. Michael, how are you holding up? I heard about everything. I sigh, rubbing my temples. I'm managing, Laura. It's tough, but what can I do? I'm focusing on the kids and work. There's a pause, heavy with unspoken words, before she replies, and Amanda? How is she dealing with the fallout? I chuckle dryly, the sound more bitter than I intend. She's playing the victim, of course. telling anyone who'll listen that it was all a misunderstanding. That the photo was taken out of context. Laura's disdain is palpable even through the phone. That's absurd, Michael. After what she did. Everyone saw the truth. You made sure of that. Yes, well, the truth needed to come out. She couldn't just get away with it, I reply, the edge in my voice sharp as a knife. As we speak, another call beeps in. Glancing at the screen, I see it's Jake. My heart sinks deeper, a mixture of anger and betrayal bubbling up. I tell Laura I'll call her back and switch lines. Michael, Jake starts, his voice weary, I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say. Sorry doesn't change anything, does it, Jake? You were like a father to me, and you betrayed me in my own house, I snap, the words laced with venom. I know, and I'll regret it for the rest of my life. I hope one day you can forgive me, for your peace more than mine, he says, the sorrow in his voice almost tangible. Forgiveness isn't on the table right now, I retort, and without waiting for a response, I end the call, the click echoing like a door slamming shut. In the weeks that follow, my resolve hardens. I throw myself into work, taking on more projects, more risks. Photography, once a passion filled with joy, now becomes a tool for my ambition. My reputation as a fierce competitor grows, my recent personal scandal adding a layer of notoriety to my professional persona. One evening, as I review contracts late into the night, a plan begins to form, a photo exhibit titled The Masks We Wear. It would be a collection showcasing the duplicity and masks people wear every day, inspired by my own betrayal. The centerpiece? The photo of Amanda and Jake, a stark, unflinching look at the reality of deceit. As I set the plans in motion, contacting galleries and preparing press releases, the idea of turning my pain into something tangible, something that could perhaps even resonate with others, gives me a purpose. It's not just about revenge anymore, it's about exposing truths, about showing the world the faces people hide behind. The night before the exhibit's opening, I stand alone in the gallery, the photos hung meticulously around me. The image of Amanda and Jake, now blown up and framed, takes a prominent place. It's more than a photograph, it's a declaration, a final severance of what was and a stepping stone to what will be. As the lights dim and I prepare to leave, the gallery's silence speaks to me, promising a storm to come with the dawn. The intrigue of how the public and Amanda will react looms large, the next chapter of my life poised to unfold from the shadows of the past. The morning of the exhibition, the city wakes to a heavy frost, the chill in the air mirroring the cold determination that has set in my heart. The gallery, usually a sanctuary for the serene and the beautiful, today feels more like a battleground as I prepare for the doors to open. The first guests arrive early, their breaths visible in the crisp air, their eyes curious and eager. Among them are local critics, art lovers, and, notably, several figures from the local news. Cameras click and flash as they capture the scene, the anticipation palpable. As people start to fill the room, murmurs grow louder, especially when eyes fall upon the centerpiece, the photo of Amanda and Jake. I watch from a distance, my stance rigid, as faces contort with shock, disbelief, and in some cases, recognition. Michael, this is quite the bold statement, a familiar voice notes, and I turn to find Diane, a respected art critic, her eyes wide not just with professional curiosity but personal shock. It's more than a statement, Diane. It's a revelation, I reply, my voice steady, my gaze unflinching as I meet her look of intrigue. As we talk, a sudden commotion at the entrance catches our attention. I turn to see Amanda pushing through the crowd, her face a mask of fury, her eyes locked on the infamous photograph. She moves swiftly, purposeful, and when her eyes meet mine, the air between us crackles with tension. Michael! How could you? She exclaims, loud enough for everyone to hear, her voice breaking with anger and embarrassment. You've turned our private life into a public spectacle. The life you chose when you decided to deceive me, Amanda, I retort without missing a beat, my voice loud enough for the surrounding crowd to hear, capturing their rapt attention. "This is sick, Michael. You're using our personal tragedy to boost your career," she accuses, her eyes darting around, taking in the crowd's whispered judgments and the relentless flashing of cameras. "This exhibit is about the truths people hide. Just because it's personal doesn't mean it isn't true," I say calmly, turning to address the onlookers who now hang on every word. "Each piece here tells a story. This one tells ours." Amanda stares at me, her anger mingling with a hint of pain, a complex emotion that perhaps only betrayal can birth. For a moment, I almost regret the extent of my revenge, but the pain of her betrayal, still fresh, hardens my resolve. As the confrontation unfolds, more guests and reporters swarm around, eager to capture every moment of this unexpected drama. Questions are hurled at us, the flash of cameras relentless. "Is this exhibition a form of revenge?" one reporter asks, microphone extended toward me. "It's not revenge. It's art reflecting life. And sometimes life is dramatic and painful," I answer, my gaze still fixed on Amanda, who stands now silent, the impact of the public exposure settling in. As the crowd absorbs my words, Amanda turns and leaves abruptly, her exit as dramatic as her entrance. The room buzzes with heightened chatter, the exhibition now the talk of the town, the scandal unveiled in each frame adding layers to the narrative I've presented. Later, as the last guests leave and the gallery doors close, I remain behind, alone with the echoes of the day. The photographs on the walls stare back at me, each a testament to a moment of truth. The event, while a public success, leaves a private void, the cost of my revenge weighing heavily. As I lock up, the empty frames seem to whisper of both victory and loss, a reminder that in battles of the heart, even the victor bears scars. The exhibition has set the stage for whatever comes next, the intrigue of my next move and Amanda's response shrouded in the lingering shadows of the gallery. The days following the exhibition are restless, each one passing with the heavy weight of unfinished business. The public's reaction to the exhibit is mixed, with some praising the raw truthfulness of my work, while others criticize it as a vengeful spectacle. Amid the turmoil, one thing becomes clear: my thirst for retribution has not yet been quenched. A cold, rainy evening blankets the city as I plan the final act of my revenge. My mind races with possibilities, each more severe than the last. From the shadows of my living room, I dial a number I know all too well. "Jake," I greet coldly as the line connects. "Michael," he responds, a hint of dread in his voice. "I've been thinking about calling you. After the exhibit." "Save it, Jake. We're beyond apologies," I interrupt, my voice icy. "I have one last job for you, if you want any chance at redemption." Reluctantly, he agrees to meet, the desperation in his voice almost pitiful. We set the time for the next evening, at a secluded warehouse I own on the outskirts of town, used occasionally for large-scale photo shoots. The following night, as the city beneath us sleeps, unaware, Jake arrives at the warehouse, a shadow of the man he once was. The large space is dimly lit, the only light emanating from a single, harsh spotlight in the center of the room. "What is this, Michael?" Jake asks, his voice echoing slightly in the vast emptiness. "A fitting finale," I reply, stepping into the light, a camera set up on a tripod in front of me. I motion for him to stand under the spotlight, and as he does, the light captures the guilt etched deep in his features. I adjust the camera settings, each click sharp in the quiet of the warehouse. "Why are we here, Michael? What are you planning?" Jake's voice trembles slightly. "This is your last act, Jake. Your moment to face what you've done," I say, my voice void of emotion. I pick up the camera, focusing the lens on him. As I snap photo after photo, Jake's unease grows. Finally, I set the camera aside and approach him with a small, unmarked envelope. "What's this?" he asks, taking the envelope with shaking hands. "Consider it a parting gift," I say, a cold smile playing on my lips. Jake opens the envelope to find several photographs, images of him and Amanda, taken from surveillance cameras I had secretly installed in my house long before the affair came to light. Proof of his deceit, documented well before their carelessness at Christmas. "How long?" he stammers, his face pale. "Long enough to know everything," I reply. "And now, everyone else will know, too." Jake's face crumples as he realizes the depth of my planning, the extent of my revenge. "You set us up," he whispers. "Not just you," I add. Turning back to my camera, I press a few buttons, and the images begin uploading directly to various social media platforms and news outlets. Jake watches, defeated, as his reputation, already hanging by a thread, shatters completely with each upload. The final blow strikes silently, digitally, irreversibly. "You'll never recover from this, Michael. Do you understand that?" Jake says, a mixture of anger and resignation in his voice. "I lost everything the moment you betrayed me," I say flatly. "Now, so will you." As Jake leaves the warehouse, the weight of his actions finally bearing down on him, I remain behind. The empty warehouse echoes with the faint hum of the departing storm outside, a stark reminder of the silence that now fills my life. In the end, the victory feels hollow. Retribution has been achieved, but at the cost of my own peace. Amanda and Jake, forever marked by their betrayal, disappear from my life, but the shadows of what was done linger. As I lock up the warehouse, the last picture of them still burning brightly on my camera's display, I realize that some pictures, no matter how sharply taken, only show the darkness.